So the other day we talked a little bit about how Joe Biden is hiring Gen Z influencers to try to do like rah-rah Biden type stuff. Well, here we have one of them that I want to show you. This is Harry Sisson. And he says, Gen Z won't sit back and watch as the Republican Party tries to destroy our country. So this is the kind of person that the White House has reached out to like throw them a lifeline in the new media world because they need to like AstroTurf support because they just don't have the grassroots support, right? Now, compare and contrast this with Marianne Williamson, who's blown up on TikTok. That says a lot, right? It says a lot that you need to like suck up to these people. And by the way, they even floated, we'll build you your own briefing room in the White House. Oh, Jesus Christ. So they have to play the tit for tat game. Like this is the way Washington works, right? It's the tit for tat game. It's the I scratch your back, you scratch mine. None of it's like organic. It's all AstroTurfed. And it shows how gross the system is. Well, anyway, let's listen. I haven't seen this video yet. I'm watching it for the first time with you guys, but I've been told it is mega cringe, as the kids would say. Let's watch.
What the Republican Party doesn't understand about Gen Z is we don't like you.
You claim you want to appeal to Gen Z, but you call us stupid, you say we're dumb, you say we're indoctrinated. I promise it's a losing strategy.
And Gen Z is watching the Republican Party extremely closely as they destroy our environment, take rights away from women, do nothing about kids being shot in schools, and if they think they can give the middle finger to our generation and get away with it, they're sorely mistaken. What the Republican Party doesn't understand.
I don't want to go too hard on the kid. You know, there was a time when I was Harry myself, young, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, little spring chicken Kyle, who was so against George W. Bush, all for good reasons, that when Obama came in, it's like you had super high hopes at the beginning, and I remember doing videos where I'm like, it's been one day of the Obama administration, and he's done more than George W. Bush has done in 8 years in office. And so I don't want to be too hard on the kid. He's going to grow, he's going to evolve, he's going to change, he's going to learn, and all that stuff. But look, what would I call this? I'd call this like surface level, entry level political talk. That's what this is, right? Did you know that like Republicans are really bad and then Democrats are really good? And if I'm trying to break through to this dude, I would tell him in a very straightforward way, you're right about the Republicans, the elected Republicans being really bad part, but the Democrats are like the tiniest bit better, but nowhere near where they need to be, right? Like, if you're really trying to explain politics to this person, does he have any idea about money in politics? Does he have any idea about the corruption of both political parties? Does he have any idea that the Democratic Party has also brought into the neoliberal framework that was birthed by Ronald Reagan and the Republican Party? So, in other words, we used to have a Democratic Party that fought for unions, fought for broad universal programs like New Deal-style programs, universal health care, higher wages, free college. You know, look at the Economic Bill of Rights from FDR. And then eventually we got a Democratic Party that was like, what if we did a half measure on everything instead and left everybody out there to struggle in this dog-eat-dog, late-stage capitalist world? So, I don't want to be too hard on the dude. Yes, this is cringe. Some of the stuff they say there is true, but if this guy or these two kids actually care, I would tell them to look into Marianne Williamson. Like, just learn about somebody who really is fighting to try to make things better. Learn about somebody who's against the corruption. Learn about somebody who wants to end the wars and rebuild our infrastructure and give everybody health care and give everybody higher wages and bring about unions and paid family leave, all these things. The Democrats pay lip service to some of those things and hardly ever deliver. And I don't know, just this sycophantic rah-rah cheerleading. Did you know Republicans are really bad, bro? It's like, yeah, I got it. The elected Republicans are TFG. There's no doubt about that. But to simp for Joe Biden is not the answer. My final data point, and you guys have heard me make this point 1,000 times before, but when FDR was president, at one point he held 80% of the House, Democrats did, and 80% of the Senate. And he won 4 presidential elections. Compare that to Joe Biden. Only 26% of the country wants to see him run again. 70% says don't run again. And even when you get like good Democratic wins in the election, it's always like, look at that. They won 51% of the vote, right? And so there's a reason why we don't get these crushing margins anymore. And the reason is the Democrats do not deliver in the way that they need to in order to really be the party of the working people. And so, look, you're never going to get disagreement from me if you're bashing Trump and DeSantis and these elected Republicans, these Republican politicians, because there's no doubt about it. They are the enemy. But Democratic leadership is not exactly your friend. And these kids need to know that. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like they do know that. They're snuggling up to Joe Biden, cuddling up with power. And I'm sure there's a lot of personal benefit in it for them. You know, who knows what money they're making or what sort of connections they get as a result of it. But entry level, man. This is entry level stuff. And then the other thing is, we'll graduate with them eventually, right? We'll graduate with them and we'll start talking about working class solidarity, class politics. You know, how, hey man, your neighbor is not really your enemy here. The enemy are the elites, the owner class, the billionaires, the corporations. Right now, they're still stuck in that boo Republicans, rah Democrats type mindset. And that's, they got a long way to go. But Harry Sisson, however you say it, reach out to me, dog. I'll help you out. I'll walk you through it. I'll have you be the most based political pundit in the world in about 10 years. Holla at your boy. All right, guys, that's the show. I love you all very much. Thank you, as always, for listening. You guys know the drill. You guys know the deal. Everybody click like, click subscribe. Let's get that next plaque. 10 million in this Bezach, baby. Let's do it. 10 million. Bezach. What even is a Bezach? What even is that? I don't know. It's amazing. I do a talk show. I don't know how to talk. Anyway, everybody subscribe to the channel, click like, click that bell icon so you get a notification. You can listen to the full audio version of the podcast, of course, over on Spotify if you guys like doing that as opposed to going video for video on YouTube. Much love to everybody who supports this show on Patreon. I love you guys to death. Links in the video description box below if you'd also like to support the show on Patreon. Support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. You could even just tip on YouTube. We never talk to advertisers. Very proud of that fact. I think we might be the only show that's been going on for over a decade where we don't do that. So, yeah, there you go. All right, guys, I will talk to you next time. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.